What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Perrin Brewing Company, and they're out of Comstock Park, Michigan, and this is their No Rules Vietnamese Porter, the 2019 vintage. So this is an Imperial Porter that is brewed with coconut and turbinado sugar, then aged in bourbon barrels, comes in at 15% alcohol by volume, 56 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is approximately 1 year old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka NoJinx, for hooking me up with this one. I'll post a link in the description box to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Jeff sent my way, although this beer he sent to me months ago, around, I want to say it's been at least 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months. So I think I reviewed most of the beers from that beer mail except for this one. Now, I've been waiting to review this one because I want to do it during the 2020 version of Barrel Aged Michigan Week, which is a week in which I'll review a beer every single day that is a barrel aged beer from the state of Michigan, most of them sent to me courtesy of Jeff. And I've been waiting to do this one for that week, and I think I'm going to do it in late May. But you know what? Jeff sent me a text recently and was like, I'd love to see you review this one. I've been saying I was going to review this one since late last year, and I just never did because it's a 15% beer in a 22-ounce bottle. So I want to make sure that it's like the only beer I review that day. And he sent me a message that was like, I want to see you review it. They're supposed to release this one in late April, so on and so forth. And I was like, I'm going to do it. It's time to do it. Not going to wait any longer. So the day I'm posting this on should be Saturday, April 25th, which was supposed to be the day that they're releasing the 2020 vintage of this. But apparently they ended up canceling that and then just doing online orders earlier in the month of April. So I am going to post this on the day they were supposed to release the 2020 vintage. Like I said, this beer is about a year old because it's 2019 vintage. Now, hopefully the coconut has held up and, it's still a delicious beer. But full disclosure, I've had this one before, not this vintage, but I've had the 2014 and 2015 vintages at the Detroit Fall Beer Festival. But here's the thing. During a festival, you're drinking a bunch of beer. On top of that, they're serving it ice cold and your palate's kind of wrecked. So at the end of the day, it's like, I really like this one. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5, but I think I was like 15 or 20 pours deep by the time I had them both times. So, to have an entire bottle to myself to drink and review, fantastic. Now, this has been out of my fridge for about an hour. I put it in my fridge originally when I got it, so it's been out of the fridge for a little bit over an hour, so we should be fine as far as temperature goes. Now, one discrepancy I saw about this one is it doesn't say anything about cinnamon. On the side here, it says no rules were followed through the creation of this product. This 15% Imperial Porter is made with coconut and turbinado sugar, then laid down and aged in bourbon barrels for several months with a classic film reference weaved in the label art. We hope you enjoy this product as much as we did making it. Of course, the Big Lebowski. Yeah, anything that has a reference to Big Lebowski, I'm a fan of. Now, the discrepancy I was talking about is I think prior vintages, or I don't know, I could just, in my mind, I thought this was also brewed with cinnamon. Could be correct, could be incorrect, I don't know. Doesn't say it, so we're going to say it's not brewed with cinnamon. Let's give it a crack, pour it into the glass, and get into this one. So, like I said, I've had this one multiple times. It smells fantastic. I smell it from here. Holy fuck. Anyway, let's give it a pour. Yeah, it's pouring out beautifully. We're not going to go crazy here. Something like that. Put it over here and figure out what we got going on here. So that pours out this really straight pitch black color. As I say, deep dark brown. That's pitch black. Has about a half finger of this mocha colored head. Very creamy looking. Looks fantastic. Alcohol legs for days. Yeah, let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells fucking dynamite. Man. A little bit of a toasted coconut, but for the most part, this is just sweet bourbon, just a ton of chocolate, like sweet or dark chocolate. The turbinado sugar is kind of giving this like this almost like toffee kind of vibe. Like it has like this really nice like caramel toffee burnt sugar type of note to it. Vanilla and oak rounding out. Nice hint of molasses. As I swirl it up, the coconut's kind of hitting me, more of a toasted coconut kind of vibe. It smells boozy, but it doesn't smell 15%. Yeah, chocolate. There's a little bit of like a roasted malt, like almost coffee kind of character as well. It smells very well integrated, cohesive. Dare I say cohesive? Sweet, tons of bourbon, tons of like just a really well-made base Imperial Porter with your chocolate, your caramelized sugars, molasses, things of that nature. A little bit of soy sauce, like a little bit of an umami character, very slight. But it's there. I like at the end of the nose, a little bit of umami character. Coconut's there. Man, this smells awesome. It's kind of reminiscent of like a Mounds bar, but like not as much coconut, if that makes sense. Yeah, it smells fucking dynamite. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and thanks again, Jeff. I truly do appreciate it. What the fuck just happened? What just happened? What just happened? What the fuck just happened? Dudes, ladies, whoever's watching this, what the fuck just happened? There is so much coconut in the taste. I have no idea how to explain the carryover from the nose to the taste, because this is coconut, a little bit more coconut, and fucking coconut. Wow. Holy shit, is this a treat? Now remember why I gave this 5 out of 5. Holy balls. All right. First things first, let's get into the body. It's syrupy, it's thick. Not straight full bodied at 15%, but approaching it. So is it a bit thin? At 15%, maybe a touch thin. It's like a bubble. No, it's just like, it's weird how for me, it's like, looks like there's a bubble at the top, but I don't think so. I don't know, let me pour a little bit and see if it's actually a bubble that's like in there. Yeah, that was a bubble at the top. What the fuck? Interesting. Anyway, I don't know, just disregard what I just did over the last 20 seconds. But yeah, body is approaching full body. 15%, maybe a touch thin, but like as far as a body goes on a big, rich Imperial Porter, Imperial Stout, it's Perrin Porter. Yeah. Yeah. The body, silky fucking smooth, creamy, very soft, not overly carbonated, but there is carbonation there. It lets you know, hey, this is a beer. This is an Imperial Porter. Body mouthfeel are fucking spectacular. A little bit better body, and I think this is just like through the roof, one of the best beers I've ever had. The taste, though. The fucking coconut. Oh my God. Yeah, rich, creamy. I would say this is like a creamy coconut as opposed to toasted coconut. It's so rich and decadent. And it's the first thing that hits me at the front of the palate, which is why I said, what the fuck, 7,000 times. Because the nose, like I said, a little bit of coconut, slight Mounds bar-esque qualities, but in the taste, coconut's running wild, like Hulkamania in the 80s. How many times can I make that reference? At least 300 times more. So be on the lookout. Yeah, but coconut at the forefront. And then after that, you're hit with like a sweet dark chocolate. So Mounds bar for me, yes, like the front of the palate is Mounds bar personified. And if you don't like Mounds bars or like Almond Joy, then, you know, I get it. I mean, this is an Almond Joy because it has no almonds. I mean, almonds. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is definitely Mounds bar in liquid form for me. But after that, like chocolate and coconut kind of hit in the forefront. Pass through the turbinado sugar, which brings like a sweetness to it. And I'm getting like caramel toffee, like a little bit of a burnt sugar type of note. But then right after that, the barrel hits. It's not huge. I think in the nose is a little bigger, but definitely notice it's a bourbon whiskey-esque kind of barrel. A little bit of, I was going to say toffee, but I meant oak and like vanilla kind of in the middle of the palate. As it continues on, it dries out ever so slightly. There isn't really any bitterness to this, a very slight dryness. So this is a sweet 15% Imperial Porter that is aged in bourbon barrels with coconut and turbinado sugar. So if you don't have a sweet tooth, or you're not a fan of like Imperial beers that are leaning towards the sweet side, this wouldn't be for you. If you have a sweet tooth and you like barrel-aged beers, I don't understand how you're not going to like this. Every fucking sip is divine. It might be a little bit too sweet for some, and I do think I would probably want to split this 22-ounce bottle with at least one other person, so we're each getting like 11 ounces, maybe 3 people, so we're each getting, 7.5 ounces. But I'm going to drink the rest of that. By the end, the last maybe 4 ounces of it, I'm going to be like, oh, it's very sweet or whatever, but every single sip is fucking stellar. Now, here's the thing, too. This is 15% alcohol by volume, and it tastes like it's 10, maybe 12 max. It's no way close to 15%. Yeah, this is, I'm getting a little bit of cinnamon. Again, the discrepancy between whether or not it's brewed with cinnamon or not, I have no idea. Getting a little bit of a spiciness that is reminiscent of a cinnamon and allspice type of character on the palate. I just want to sit here and sip on this. It's going to probably take me at least over an hour to drink this, maybe an hour and a half. But it's worth every second. It's worth every calorie. It's worth every, it's just everything. Listen, 5 out of 5. This is a fucking 5 out of 5 beer. I rated a 5 out of 5 both times I had at the Detroit Fall Beer Festival 2014-15, and that was on a wrecked palate, 15-20 beers deep. It was ice cold. This isn't ice cold. This is perfect room. It's not room temperature. It's like 55, maybe 60. Fucking perfect drink temperature. And it's almost, 5 out of 5. It's a perfect beer. I could see some people saying the sweetness is too much for them. I totally would get that. But that coconut character, combined with the sweeter chocolate, the barrel, the body and the mouthfeel just being as good as they are, this is the epitome of a world-class barrel-aged Imperial anything, whether that's a porter, a stout. This is what I want. And I can't thank Jeff enough for this one. So thank you very much, Jeff, once again. This is a beer that's released every year, and it's hard to get your hands on. And the fact that Jeff, out of the kindness of his heart, would send a bottle of this to me, and I'm a dick. I'm an ass. Like, the fact that I didn't drink this super fresh, or relatively fresh after Jeff sent it my way, it was, whatever, they released this in April. I think he sent it like in the early fall, so maybe it was like 3 or 4 months old. The fact that I didn't review this one sooner, that's on this guy, but I don't think it really mattered because I'm giving it a 5 out of 5, and this has melded into something that is right in my wheelhouse and what I want out of a beer that has coconut, turbinado sugar, Imperial Porter, barrel aged. This is what I want. So, yeah, I don't know. Not much more to say. Price and availability, I have no idea. Like I said, I know they do the whole No Rules Day, and it should have been today for the 2020 release, but it was earlier this month. I'd imagine this is probably in the $20 range for this bottle. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. I would pay upwards of $25 a bottle of this. And I know that sounds crazy to some, but like, this is a beer that is like one of those beers you bust out when you're drinking with a friend or two that loves craft beer, and you're like, hey, have you tried this? They say, no, this is what you want to bust out. Of course, I'm drinking this one to, the dome myself because, COVID-19 and everything. But yeah, it's a fucking great beer. And I know this is going to be a longer review, but this beer is deserving of the longer review that I'm giving it. 5 out of 5 all day. So, like I said, price and availability, I have no idea. I think the availability is brewery only. I don't think this gets any kind of distro to local bottle shop and stuff. I could be wrong. But Jeff, let me know what you paid for price-wise and what the availability is on it. Like I always ask, I always ask Jeff, but I sit here and make an ass of myself trying to guess because that's what I do. But yeah, if you've had this one before, any vintage, but specifically this one, I would love to hear your feedback on it because this is a Mounds, to me, a Mounds bar, better quality Mounds bar, with like a barrel-aged tinge to it, and it's absolutely fucking delicious and divine. And if you like coconut, you like Mounds bars, you like barrel-aged beers, you've never had this one, you owe it to yourself to trade for it and try to get your hands on it because this is a beer that is upper echelon, world class, all day, every day. And I'm going to end it there. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Once again, huge thanks to Jeff for hooking me up with this one. I'm going to drink this, enjoy every second of it, and get really shitty doing so. Thanks, everybody. Till the next one. Cheers.